Okay. So my name is Joseph. Similar to you, I am having
Okay.
11 years of information IT experience. Okay.
Okay.
So out of that, during the past 6 years, I am working as a Greenplum on Greenplum side. So out of that, in the last
Okay.
4 years, I am working as a purely Greenplum database administrator. Okay.
Okay.
So in the current role, I am doing, so the basic functionality or activity of a Greenplum admin concerned with me is I have to ensure the availability of Greenplum system, to ensure the health and availability of the system always.
Okay.
So as part of the active of my job or responsibility, we are doing kind of Greenplum administration, ensuring the health, doing maintenance activity. If somebody comes or developer comes or application side comes with the issues, we have to look into that, sort out that issue, and make available the database system always, except during the maintenance window. So we are doing kind of maintenance during weekends for a short time. Except that time, every time database should be up and running. So these are
Okay.
my
Fine.
roles, and apart from that, we do kind of upgradations, uh,
Okay.
kind of DCA expansion. So everything related to the administration side, an administrator, myself taking care. So that is my roles and responsibilities. I am currently working for a multinational organization. Okay, I am based out of
Okay. Fine.
India only. Okay, so these are job
You
related
are in
side.
India or not?
I'm working from India only.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so another thing is okay. So coming to this Greenplum stack, Greenplum is a member of this big data stack. It's a database
Okay.
side. So similar to Greenplum, there are other big data databases like Teradata, Netissa, Exadata, Vertica. So all these are members of big data database family. Okay,
Okay.
so compared to the other databases, you might be already aware of Hadoop. Hadoop is a big data technology.
Big data.
Okay, so
Okay.
there is difference between Hadoop and it's an Greenplum. So basically, Hadoop is dealing with mostly with the unstructured data, to process unstructured data for analytic purpose. That is the main purpose of Hadoop. But coming to a database,
Okay.
almost all databases are dealing with structured data, like column-wise
Okay.
database, row and column orientation. Okay, so
Okay.
there is a difference between Hadoop and Greenplum. If you compare Greenplum with other big data databases, I feel Greenplum is overtaking all the other databases. So it is compared to Teradata and Hexadata or Netissa, it is cheaper. Okay, almost see all the
Okay.
this big data family are it's their MPP architecture. MPP is nothing but massively parallel processing. Okay, let me share the screen also.
Okay.
Okay, it is nothing but massively parallel processing architecture. So there are, you
Okay.
can compare this with a master. It's like a distributed database. There will be like n number of nodes,
Okay.
and processing will be happening locally at the node where data is stored. So you will be getting a faster processing or faster retrieval when you are going with a MPP database. Greenplum is an active member of MPP database. Compared to other traditional databases like Oracle or DB2 or SQL Server. Okay, so this MPP architecture is making big data databases powerful. The processing, whatever processing is happening inside these MPP databases are in parallel fashion. Compared to traditional one, they are sequential. They are doing their action one after the other. But in MPP database, they are doing actions parallelly. Say for example, if you having 1 gig of data in Oracle and Greenplum, I'm just comparing a traditional database and a big data database, Greenplum. If you are having 1 gig of data for a particular table, in Oracle, this entire data is stored at a single location. But in Greenplum, this 1 gig of data is stored at n number of places, n nodes. Okay, so these nodes, as the processing is parallel, the processing will happen at all these n nodes at the same time. While at the traditional one, it is happening only at a single place. So definitely in an NPP database like Greenplum, it will be n times faster compared to the traditional one. It can handle huge volume. So that is with respect to the speed when compared to traditional one. So the storage also, as it is stored at different places and each place can have that much storage like that of a single place compared to a traditional database. You can have huge storage achieved in a MPP in Greenplum. So you can add more nodes to the existing system. So compared to the traditional one, it is having n number of advantage or plus points. Okay. So compared to other MPP databases, Teradata, Netissa, Hexadata and all, Greenplum is cheaper, we discussed. And another plus point or advantage of Greenplum is every other MPP database comes with the appliance only. You have to buy the appliance if you want to get the database. It is like an appliance plus database for other things. For Greenplum only, you can go with a software version alone. You can go with a software alone version. Also, appliance is available. So you can go with and without appliance. If you buy the appliance, definitely software will come with that. If you buy the software only, you have to set up your own hardware. Commodity hardware, you can install Greenplum. That is a plus point. The cost will be n times less compared to other big data databases. So nowadays, so that is the difference when compared to other database. So what is the relevance or what is the current relevance of Greenplum if somebody is newly learning Greenplum? So as far as my experience is concerned, so a lot of clients are migrating from their traditional databases to MPP databases like Greenplum. Their first preferences comes to Greenplum. I have seen like that.
Okay.
So in order to see, traditional databases are facing issues when the data is growing exponentially. It's every day data is growing. For analytic purpose, they need data for so many, they need huge volume of data for doing the analysis in a best way. So to handle this exponential data, traditional databases are failing at some point. Say for example, if you're having some terabytes of data from a table, okay, if you do some action in
Okay.
traditional databases like Oracle, it will take some hours, 3-4 hours to give you the result. The same data, if you are doing the same analysis in Greenplum, you will get in some 20-25 minutes or 30 minutes compared to 3-4 hours in the traditional one because of this parallel processing. We discussed, right? Data is stored at nodes and processing happens locally.
Okay.
So, in order to
Just
handle
I have
this
question.
exponential, yes.
Yeah. Actually, I just want to understand. I have just read the overview, so I want to understand: is there any relationship between Greenplum and Postgres database, and are there different flavor like Greenplum Pivot and Greenplum EMC like that?
Okay,
So
so
I'm little bit confused.
let me share the history first. So this Greenplum is actually developed over the foundation of PostgreSQL database. It is an open source database,
Okay.
right? Postgres. So it
Okay. Yes.
is
Yes.
built over that foundation. So I can simply equate Greenplum like Greenplum equal to Postgres plus MPP features. In Postgres, there
Okay.
is no massively parallel processing present. So they introduced
Right. Right.
this MPP features over Postgres and made it to Greenplum. So almost all things that works in Postgres will be working in Greenplum also.
Okay.
Okay, so that is Greenplum. Greenplum is developed by the company Greenplum itself. So later, EMC acquired that Greenplum, that particular organization. So that time it
Okay.
is named as Greenplum EMC. Okay. So after that, EMC, what they did is they made a separate entity for Greenplum. That is called a pivotal. So now it is named as Greenplum pivotal.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, there is nothing. Everything are the same. It's like some
Right. Right.
generations. Okay. So whatever this Greenplum is ANSI compliant, so most of the SQL queries will be working here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So coming to for a developer, if you are doing some developer actions, you don't feel much difference because it is ANSI compliant. If you know Oracle or SQL Server, you will be good to
Okay.
proceed with the Greenplum development side. But administration is somewhat different because of its MVP architecture and its design.
Okay.
Okay, so this MPP architecture we will be concentrating more and we will be doing the hands-on on that side. So if you know Postgres, it will be very easy to learn the commands. But administration side, there is difference.
Okay.
Okay. So if you coming, so you have any questions?
I just want to know the differences between Greenplum and Oracle on if we take 2-3 parameters like complexity wise and easy to maintain or administer and uh, ease of accessing the database. So how it is different from Oracle?
Okay. So the first difference is Oracle is kind of sequential database. Sequential in the sense
Okay.
it is stored at a single place. If you want backup and all is a different story. If you want to retain the backup, you are keeping the backup and storing some other place. But the other difference
Okay.
is, other thing is, the main point is data is stored at a single location. But in Greenplum,
Okay.
data is stored at nodes, different nodes. Distinct data is stored at nodes.
Okay.
Okay. And there is a concept of mirroring in Greenplum. So you will be keeping a copy of the data at that appliance itself. So it's a failover or failover mechanism is handled properly in Greenplum. You have a redundant data. Okay, so that is the main difference. And coming to the administration side, the administration is different. Okay, the appliance. Here comes the Greenplum appliance or the commodity hardware. So you have to keep, as it is an MPP database, the architecture is different. So the administration is somewhat different than that of Oracle. But definitely all the basic functionalities, if you are doing currently an administration, definitely there are a lot of key points you will be touching here also, the same points. But compared to Oracle, I think both are having the similar kind of complexity. Okay. The difference is it is MPP. So there will be a difference, and there are a lot of utilities present, and you can achieve everything in Greenplum. And using the available utilities for administration, you have a command center. It's a graphical interface. You can see the health or the various component health, various queries running. You can monitor, can take action. There are various utilities to deal with the database and with the appliance. Okay, so using that utilities, you can monitor and you can take actions and you can perform the administration well. So what was your third question?
Sorry?
You asked me three questions. Which was your third question?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
And like, what is meant by commodity hardware?
Commodity hardware is nothing but it's like an assembly. You can buy a laptop, right? You can assemble it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it is like we are providing the hard disk, we are providing the server, nothing from EMC. Only the software comes from EMC. That is a commodity hardware.
Oh, right.
Okay, in India, there are a lot of organizations that are working on this commodity hardware. The best example is Reliance Communications. There are call logs and all, right? Those details, they are, keeping in Greenplum database using the commodity hardware.
Okay.
So so if you come to this session training, there are it is basically a 20-hour session. Okay, so the first day will be devoted to the installation of Greenplum database. It is the commodity or community edition. It's a free edition of Greenplum. There is an enterprise edition that is basically used in organizations or clients. As it is a free edition, this is the one we are using for our training. So we will be setting up the database and the client setup. Greenplum is having two clients like SQL Plus or Todd you will be having for Oracle and other databases, right? The similar thing, Greenplum is having its own Windows client. It is this PG admin. It is called PG admin. We will be setting the database first. We will be setting the clients, and it is having its own web interface. You can execute the queries similar to Todd or SQL Developer. Okay, it is having another thing is it is having the Windows Unix client available. You will be able to execute your queries from Unix client also. Okay, it is PSQL. PSQL is the Unix client of Greenplum. So we will be installing the clients and the server during the first session. Okay, and after that we will be seeing the architecture of Greenplum in detail, how the various nodes behave. Okay, what is master, what is segments, how data is managed at Greenplum database side, at server level, at segment level, how failover is happened.
Okay.
Okay, what are the various steps you need to do when segments fail. So all these things we will be discussing during the first session or the second session. Okay, and the next thing what we will be seeing, see in Greenplum, as we have seen, the data processing is happening locally at the nodes. There will be n nodes and data is processed at these n nodes. So how the data is distributed, there will be some kind of logic or algorithm that determines the distribution of data. How data is distributed, how table is designed, what determines the distribution of data. So all these things, what are the various distribution policies for a table? So these things we will be discussing in the second session. What are the best practices available for a table design? Okay. So in Greenplum, table design is the key point to get the maximum performance. There is a distribution key and all in Greenplum that determines where the corresponding record or data has to go, in which node it has to go and reside. So this distribution policy or distribution key determines the physical location of data inside Greenplum database. So how we determine that? What are the things to take care? So all these things we will be seeing when discussing the table design concepts. So the next things, there are some features that are not supported in Greenplum compared to other databases like foreign key, correlated subquery, noting clause. So some features we will be discussing, and the various storage models and the orientations. What are the different compressions? How partition is different? Partitions are also distributed in Greenplum. We will see how we can improve the query by selecting the correct partitions or by eliminating the partitions. What are the various data motions and how distribution key affects or influences these data motions during the join actions and operations. So compared to other databases like traditional ones, we will have a comparison here. What are the various storage models and orientations? If you take Oracle, Oracle prefers a row orientation. That means all the records or all the data of a corresponding record or a row are stored at a single place. But in Greenplum, each column can be separated out. It can be stored at different places. This is having advantage. If you are doing an aggregate action, a group by action, a maximum of sales, if you are just selecting a column, it will be faster compared. So the similar one, how you create a table like this with various orientations, with various storage models. What are the advantage of one model over the other? So all these things we will be seeing in the third session. And one important point is, in our training, we will be giving the weightage like 40% to theory and 60% to hands-on experience. So that is why we will be setting up the database server in your machine, in your laptop first during the first session. So after that, for each and everything, you will be creating tables with various orientations. You will be inserting data. You will create the table with various compression levels, compression methods. You will partition the table. So all these things we will be doing the hands-on. So another thing is the session 4. Another point of interest is the external tables. See, in other databases, there are a lot of databases used for warehousing, data warehousing. In data warehousing, the important point is you will be doing the extraction, transformation, that means implementation of business logic, and after that you will be loading the data to the warehouse database. So in Greenplum, it supports, so that kind of technology in the other databases are called ETL, extract, transform and load. In Greenplum, it is called ELT. Greenplum itself will do the business transformations or processing. So first, normally what we will do is we will extract the data and load it to the staging area of Greenplum. After that, using Greenplum APIs, business logic or transformations are applied over the data and loading to the warehouse database. So Greenplum supports ELT. It supports transformations, business logic. And how external table? See, in warehousing technology, you will be getting data from different sources like other databases, other files, other data fields like flat file, external or delimited files. So you will be using normally some ETL tools to extract, to get the data from external fields like external files and all. But in Greenplum, we don't need such kind of ETL tools like Informatica or data stage. Greenplum doesn't require. Greenplum itself can consume the files using external tables. Concept of external table. So we will be seeing those things. We will do the hands-on, create external table, GPF disk process, everything. These are all related to external tables. So another thing is there are no procedures in Greenplum. So everything can be achieved by means of Greenplum functions like SQL functions or procedural language functions. We will see again built-in functions and temporary tables. So basically, when you are doing the migrations from Oracle or some other traditional database to Greenplum, you will be rewriting most of your procedures to functions in Greenplum. Everything is achieved, can be achieved in Greenplum using Greenplum functions. Normally in Greenplum functions, we perform or write the business logic or transformations, and we will be refining the data using Greenplum functions. What are the uses of temporary tables? We will be seeing. In the 5th session, what we will be seeing is the indexes, whether Greenplum support indexes, whether Greenplum prefers indexes. There are a lot of differences when you compare with the traditional database with respect to index, as Greenplum is an MPP database of design. We will see those differences. Okay. So what are the various maintenance activities the database administrator has to perform? We will be seeing all these things. You need to vacuum, or you need to, what is that, clean your user tables, system tables, indexes, system indexes. So it's a kind of maintenance activity a database administrator has to perform over the database. We will be discussing all those topics here. Performance tuning, how a DBA has to look over the performance side. How you will be going and seeing the various configuration files. How we will do the authentication. How we will perform the client authentication in Greenplum using the configuration file or configuration parameters we will be discussing. What are the various configuration or environment parameters present? Those things we will be discussing over the various configuration files. How you can encrypt the data. Various analytic functions available. Okay. So what are the things you have to do to improve the performance? How to collect the statistics? All these informations we will be discussing during the 5th session. Any questions?
Yeah, I have two questions. Like at the time of configuration, do we need to provide any memory configuration parameter like in Oracle V2? And suppose we want to create a link between Greenplum and Oracle. Is it possible? And we have application running on different servers. So how it is connected with the database? Any client software need to install?
Okay, so the thing is like Greenplum supports ODBC, JDBC drivers. So all the tools or applications that users or can utilize the drivers, ODBC or JDBC or native drivers, Postgres drivers are available for Greenplum. Okay, so you can configure that driver and you can directly connect to Greenplum database from your various applications. So from application side, it is very easy to connect to Greenplum database. And you cannot make a link between Greenplum and other database. It is not possible. The thing is, you have to extract the data and feed it to Greenplum database using external table or some other application. Greenplum cannot access data from some other database. Even Oracle cannot, right? Cannot access the data from some other database.
Sorry?
Even Oracle cannot connect to some other database directly, right? It cannot do that. The same thing, you cannot connect to other database, some other database from a Greenplum database system. Database cannot connect.
Oracle we can, yeah. What I'm saying from Oracle to Oracle, like we can create the DB link, and there are also some third-party tools.
DB link is not possible. This DB link, database link is not what is that supported in Greenplum.
Okay.
If you want to connect to some other database, if connectivity is there, you can connect. You can connect in the sense, it's like two different commands. You can read from that and write to this. You can do that. They are different commands. The thing is, from one database, you cannot perform the action of a different database. You cannot read the data from that is present in a different database. You cannot perform any action like that.
Okay.
Okay. So suppose like I have two Greenplum databases present, while in my application I have to access both the data. You can do that. You have to configure two drivers, one to connect to the first database and the second to the other database. You can do all your actions, right?
Okay. Now, what kind of query language it supports? SQL and other one is?
It is ANSI compliant. So Oracle, SQL Server, everything are ANSI compliant. So almost everything is supported. Similar to Oracle or PL SQL. It supports procedural language. This Greenplum functions, right? It supports procedural language. See, if you see here, it is SQL function present, procedural language function present. The syntaxes and all are the same. with us if concerned for a developer.
Okay.
So, okay, let me finish. The sixth session we will be seeing mostly dedicating for configuring the resource queue. How important resource queue is with respect to an MPP database. How you will configure.
Okay.
What are the various things you need to consider or take care while designing the resource queue. What are the important system tables present and how you can leverage the data from these system tables to improve the performance or while doing the administration activity. Okay? How you will check
Okay.
for table log, how you will clear the log, how you will check for performance bottleneck. While running the query, what are the things to take care if somebody complains something? What are the various issues we encounter as an admin? What are the various maintenance activities like yearly, monthly, weekly maintenance? How backup is taken? What are the various policies? What is the retention policy of backup? What are the other system maintenance, user table maintenance, temporary table maintenance? What are the various useful utilities? How you will recover a node? How you will stop and start? How you will check for the problems? So all these things we will be discussing in the sixth session. It is mostly related to performance and maintenance activity.
Okay.
So we will be doing the hands-on, we will be installing the system will be available to you and you will be able to perform the hands-on. And one thing is like this particular technology, lot and lot of people are demanding or clients are demanding this, but the experts or the people who know this technology are very less in the market. So everybody is looking
Okay.
for people who knows Greenplum. Definitely, when we go for
Okay.
interview and all, okay, it's very less
Okay.
people we are getting. We need, there is a demand, but the supply is very less compared to demand.
Okay.
So,
So, like how this 20-hour session is going, how this 20-hour session is going to helpful to handle the day-to-day activities in real life scenario, say in the corporate.
okay. So basically we will be touching most of the points. Okay. So
Okay.
we will be discussing mostly on the issues we encounter in the day-to-day life and this installation you will be having and you are able to replicate most of the issues we encounter. We will be doing the hands-on and there will be some kind of homework that is given. So while if you are practicing over that, it will cover most of the scenarios normally faced in a real admin life. And one thing is like,
Okay.
see, when you come to a client side, definitely this will give a foundation of 60, 65 or 70%. Other that with that 60 or 70%, you will be able to manage the client side. And when you are
Okay.
progressing in the client life, then only you will grasp the remaining 30 or 40 percentage. But this will give a foundation and you can start. The thing is like, after this training, I know a lot of people who are working very smart at client side. We will be checking, we will be interacting normally and what is that feedback is very good. The client is, they are able to manage like very experienced persons.
Okay.
So that is my experience.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I'm not assuring like you will be 100%, what is that, like an experience. You will be only 60 or 65 or 70% maximum.
Okay, okay. What are the methodology or like in Oracle we have RMAN and all this for methodology means for backup and recovery. Does this
Modeling.
Greenplum have?
You are discussing
Sorry,
about modeling, right? Data modeling.
not data modeling for backup and recovery tools like Oracle have RMAN.
Yeah, yes. Backup and recovery. There are a lot of tools that is available. You can either you have to go with locally or you can go with a different server like DD Boost or data domain. You can take the backup
Okay,
in a separate server. On demand, you can recover. On a weekly basis, we
okay,
normally take the backup. Okay. So Greenplum itself is having a mirroring technology that takes a what is that, a copy of the entire data in the appliance itself.
okay,
Apart from that, we do have the backup in a separate server, or you can take it locally. The separate server is called a
okay,
data domain. You can take it and the data is secure, and on demand you can restore, or you can use that data to build a separate database itself.
okay,
Like Erwin, it is called a data domain.
okay. Okay. So Greenplum have its own tool to take care of backup and recovery.
It's not tool in the sense, it is a separate server. You can keep
Are
the backup in a separate server, or you can keep it in the same server itself.
okay,
Greenplum is having utilities to manage the backup, like a dump and all. GP dump, it's its own utility. What I mentioned is
okay,
like data domain is a separate server where the output of dump is taken, or the dump is actually stored.
okay,
See, Greenplum is having utility for each and every action. Everything, whatever it performs, there are utilities present, and you need to, what is that, perfectly or understand how to use those utilities in an efficient way.
okay. And
So,
what kind
yes.
of, yeah, what kind of files it has like Oracle, control file, log file, data file. So what kind of file Greenplum database have?
So normally the same thing. Greenplum is that server is having log files. For if you encounter issues, definitely you need to trace the log, right? You need to analyze the log. So log files present. So basically administrator, he has the major activity comes, right? When you face issues, you have to analyze the logs and you have to reach the conclusion and find out the issue. That is one of the major activity of an administrator. So there are administrative for each and everything. Inside the database, there is a log file present inside the server. If you are not going to that log file, you can check everything from the database itself, database system tables.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. And for rollback and roll forward, what are the files or any utility?
Okay, you need to say how you, the save points, right? Your question is basically related to that, right?
Yes, right, right.
Okay, so Greenplum basically is um, see, if something happens to the database system, if database is corrupted or database crash, you can restore from the backup only.
Okay,
Okay, so database itself is not having the previous image; it is not storing that one.
okay,
So that is why the backup is what is that? It's very important. Backup strategy.
okay,
So thing is
okay,
like you can take the backup on an online system. So there is no issues. Even incremental backup you can take. only the incremental data you have to take in Greenplum. So the size of backup, even if you are taking on a daily basis, the size of backup is less when it goes over an incremental method.
Okay.
So most of the things, everything, Greenplum is configured for an auto commit action. Okay, so if you want to change that behavior, you have to write your own transaction blocks. Inside the transaction block, we can define our own, what is that, commit or rollback points. We can change that behavior like that.
Okay. And for a DBA, is it required to know the procedure and function for the data analytics, or
Yes,
it is taken care by
the
the?
thing is like, see, definitely for a DBA, see, if you are perfectly doing the database action only, okay, no need to know that. Okay, but the thing is, definitely when you face issues, you may be asked to debug, you may be asked to say what is the issues. So at times you have to go inside that function, you have to see what is happening, you have to point out. It's like you have to do the work of an architect also when you come or play as a Greenplum administrator. So definitely you should know each and everything of Greenplum. So when you come to Greenplum, a developer grows and matures into a Greenplum DBA. When you come to Greenplum side, that is a normal, what is that, way of propagation. So it is very much required to know the developer side also for a Greenplum administrator. When they face issues, definitely you have to troubleshoot everything. You have to study everything. What is the issue? Why it is happening so? Developer will come to you. Hey, my things are running. Till yesterday it was running fine. Now it is not working. They will say some issue with the database. You have to go and study things. So you may be asked to see the distribution policies, how distribution, any uneven distribution of data present, or functions used, what are the issues, whether statistics are collected, whether the planner is using the statistics. So a lot of things you have to study and analyze to solve some issues. So everything is required for an administrator.
Okay. So for any admin related activities, is there any requirement to write down PL SQL procedures or functions?
Administration side say definitely you can, normally an administrator writes.
Okay. Why I'm asking, because in Oracle it's like hardly any DB had to write the PL SQL code or something. Of course they can
So
debug
see,
and they
definitely for many of your administration activity, you will be writing some shell script or something to do some of your routine tasks. It is really good. At times you will be asked to write, and you have to write some shell script or some maintenance or some routine checking procedures, maybe with the functions or shell script. You have to. There are many cases like that.
Okay.
So in order to ease your work, you have to do these activities.
Okay. Okay.
So, okay. So any other questions? So otherwise, I think we had a good discussion.
Yeah. Okay. One last question, like how is the demand in market for the Greenplum DBA?
See, that is what I mentioned. Like, see, lot of people are migrating, lot of clients are migrating from their traditional database to Greenplum. As Greenplum is cheap compared to other big data database, majority of them are
Okay.
preferring Greenplum.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so
But
the
I understand it cheaper and like easy to use, right, compared to other big data solutions, and it's also support RDBMS, right?
yeah, yes,
Okay.
it is not purely RDBMS. The thing is,
Okay.
it doesn't support foreign key and all.
Okay. It doesn't support or support foreign key?
It doesn't support. It is
Okay.
not supporting.
Okay. Okay.
It is not purely relational. Okay.
Right.
So there is no need of
So,
big
okay.
normalization and all required. A single denormalized table also
Okay.
it will perform well, very well in Greenplum.
Okay.
Because of its
Okay.
MPP design, right? It can behave very well.
Okay.
So Greenplum is good in those terms when we are comparing it with the other traditional databases. The performance is very good.
Okay.
So the job market, the demand for Greenplum DBA is very much present and there is big shortage of resource. Okay, if we can claim experience under this Greenplum
Okay.
administration side, definitely the market is very bright.
Okay.
Because see, we are
Maybe
doing
like
the
one
interview
thing
and we
I'm
are
wondering.
getting, yes, please.
What I'm like, one thing I'm afraid of, like, suppose I do some green plum trainings and all, and if I will put in my CV 1 or 2 years of experience, rest as it is. So I don't think like some people will be preferring my profile.
You will
So
be,
that's
you
the
will be
only.
preferred. The thing is like, see, not even when we interview people, okay, they
Okay.
are not able to tell most of the things. See, I can give various scenarios, right? Only thing is they
Okay.
read something from somewhere from the Google, okay, and after that they are
Okay.
coming for the interview. They don't have any kind of practical experience. If an interviewer
Right.
feels like you have practical hands-on experience, definitely your value is much more. They will be taken. That is why we
Okay.
have the lab already in our laptop and everything is the same like a client setup.
Okay.
The value is more.
Without like real life, yeah, without real life scenario, it's like very difficult to get hands-on and a good understanding of any product even.
Yeah,
Just
definitely,
reading a
definitely.
theory is not going to help.
Simply reading the theory is not going to help.
Yeah.
You will
Otherwise,
gain the
we have to
knowledge,
have like.
but definitely you don't know deep inside. See, work experience and theory are
Right.
totally different.
Correct.
So, see, with the lab, what we are setting up, you can practice all the things, okay, and I will give
Okay.
various scenarios, you can learn it.
Okay.
Okay, so if you are interested, I think you can reach out to IQ Online or Swati and we can set up and
Okay.
the training is like as per your convenience, 1 or 2 hours each day or whatever you prefer.
Okay.
Or if you want more
Okay.
hours during the weekends, we can go like that
Okay.
or whatever way we prefer because
Oh,
I am also working. I have 9 to 6, that is my working time, daytime. After beyond
okay.
that time, we can do any time.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay, so
Okay. Sure. Sure. I will let.
Okay, okay, Arun. So I think it was a good discussion, and okay, looking forward to you. Okay,
Yeah, same here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. Bye, Arun.
Thank you.